Hey, what's going on, guys? Pineapple Swayer, and today I'm bringing you guys some Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I just wanted to say, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows for a little bit now, and I've actually enjoyed the game and think it's a lot of fun. Much like a lot of games now, we see a lot of people that really like the game, or they absolutely despise the game. And I've seen a lot of people give a lot of crap to Assassin's Creed Shadows. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the things I did like and some of the things that I didn't like. As soon as you boot up the game, you're going to notice that the game is full and riddled of microtransactions and battle passes. Ubisoft is not afraid to throw those microtransactions at your face. Um, Although won't lie, a lot of the stuff did look cool. I'm just unwilling to spend $20 to $30 on skins and battle passes, as I think it's just kind of stupid to have that in a single player story-based game. But, to get to the positives, you don't have to buy any of this stuff. Obviously, it'll be all over your screen, but for the most part, from what I've played so far, that was really my only dislike. Just didn't really like the way it had that portrayed and was displayed across the screen. Now, also in all honesty, I haven't really been a fan of the new RPG systems of Assassin's Creed. I'm more of a fan of the old style Assassin's Creed games like the Ezio trilogy, Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 3, the original Assassin's Creed 3, while this new wave of Assassin's Creed hasn't really been my favorite, to say the least. However, with Assassin's Creed Shadows, I kind of wanted to just go into this game open-minded and try it for myself. Now, so far my playthrough, I've put in about 5 hours into the game, basically playing most of Nai's story, while the other character, I believe it's pronounced Diago, who's the other assassin. You basically follow their stories, as you can see from the gameplay right here. These characters aren't really distinctive in terms of gameplay, but I'm not really going to give it as a critique. The only thing that's really different from what I've noticed so far in my 5 hours is that with Diago, he's a brute character, a brute assassin, so you can take a lot more damage, and you can kind of run around like a chicken with your head cut off, and just slice and dice enemies. While with Nai, she basically, if you get hit, like, you're dead. Like, I'm not even joking. So you have to be more stealthy and play more, like, her playstyle is more like, how you would see in, like, the original Assassin's Creed games, relying on stealth, whistling to attract your enemies, and setting different traps and distractions to, kill your enemies. Which, from what I've played so far, I was enjoying her playstyle a lot more. And other things, too, that I've enjoyed was the game's parkour. Being able to traverse from point A to point B was really smooth and really cool. And like what I said, like with a lot of this game, like with games like these, it seems to be one-sided, or people are really divided. People are like really divided. You'll see people really enjoy this game, and even the reviews point to the game being really fun and enjoyable. And then you'll see people that will absolutely rip this game apart. So, like, with that being said, like what I said, I just wanted to go in with an open mind, see what the game was even like, see what the game was about, and try for myself. And like what I said, I have enjoyed it so far. Obviously, that can be subject to change, but there's been a lot of enjoyable moments, and playing through Nai's story has been really cool. And having that story sort of develop and seeing these pieces and fragments pull together to make a really cool and unique story for her character. Obviously, I don't know how the other assassin's character will be, since haven't made it that far yet. From what I've played so far, the story is really cool, and it really kind of drives you in. And my biggest problem with these new Assassin's Creed games, and it kind of still stands, is just didn't really feel like there was much going on, and the combat at times could feel a bit clunky. While with Shadows in the beginning of so far, it really pulls you in and drives you in to make it feel like a really good and unique story, where you kind of have to pay attention to what's going on, or you're going to miss something later down the line. However, my opinion on the combat still stands. I'm just not a fan of this RPG style combat, with the enemy health bars, the parry system, and all that stuff. It just doesn't really feel like Assassin's Creed. But however, to counter to that argument, it is nice so far using Nai's character being able to actually use those old Assassin's Creed elements like being able to utilize stealth and assassinating your enemies and taking them out one by one silently and not even being detected. I feel like that's been missing from a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. Are not really a staple anymore in Assassin's Creed, and it's kind of been forgotten about. Obviously, like at the end of the day, this is still an Assassin's Creed game, but a lot of these games have sort of pullen out of the Assassin's Creed name and just kind of feels like its own standalone game. Like for example, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then I can't think of what the other one's called. The one where you're basically like a Northern Viking, I think, or something weird like that. Um, yeah, they just sort of pull away from Assassin's Creed. Obviously, they still have those elements sprinkled in, but it's not entirely there or there at all. It's kind of forgotten about. But what I've really liked about Shadows, it's kind of going back to that. And something with the last Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Mirage, they promised to go back to those old roots. And although I did play Assassin's Creed Mirage and I did enjoy that game, I felt like that was more of a false promise. While this game seems to so far go back to those old roots of what an old Assassin's Creed game was about and bringing that history back to life. Not completely being forgotten about, but rewriting it in a modern way, in a modern era, for a new generation of fans of Assassin's Creed and for a new or just for a new generation of Assassin's Creed games. I know I'm just kind of rambling, but I hope that makes sense. Now, so far with the game's story, it's been sort of nice to see this perspective and see the game play out. Now, with that also opens up the question of, why does this game get so much hate? Why does this game have so many problems? Well, it's, I don't really understand it either. We see people online complaining about the game being DEI and woke, which personally, I don't understand that. I don't really see that with this game. Nothing feels forced. Nothing feels like it was narratively changed to, fit narratives or fit anything of that nature. Honestly, this is just a good game in my opinion, and it's a lot of fun. Obviously, like what I said, I've only put a few hours into it. My opinions could change, but from what I've played so far, it's been really enjoyable. And if you've been, a fan of the series but have been hesitant to come back due to the RPG system, or you just no longer like where Assassin's Creed is headed, I think this could be a good game to get back into the series. Obviously, my dream as a fan is for them to go back to, the old roots of Assassin's Creed, but that dream for me might, never come back. Obviously, I thankfully though have the Black Flag remaster to look forward to whenever that launches, I think sometime next year. But, for me, this has been, a fun journey so far, and I will be posting probably more videos and uploads time to time discussing whether or not my opinion has changed. Now, with that being said, I would recommend this game, but some things obviously you should avoid is you shouldn't waste your money on buying any of the game's microtransactions. In my opinion, those are really just scams and just a waste of money. You're already spending $70 to $100 to buy the game. If you're buying the full price, like you're basically buying a full price game, and then if you buy the deluxe edition, that's basically $100 right there down the drain, and you have all of these other $20, $10, $30 microtransactions that just aren't really needed to enhance your gameplay experience. Obviously, if you like that stuff or find something that you like, go ahead, but from my personal opinion, I won't be buying any of that stuff, and I wouldn't recommend it either. That's just me. But, yeah, I really enjoy Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I look forward to see where this game is headed and sort of see where the series is headed. I think this was a win that Ubisoft desperately needed for their franchise, as it was kind of going down in the toilet, in my opinion, with the Assassin's Creed games. We'll have to see what the next big installment is, since I know there is the Black Flag remaster, remake, I'm not exactly sure yet, but the next chapter to move this series forward, if that makes sense. Anyways, though, I hope you guys enjoy this episode of, I don't really even know if I should call it an episode, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like what you see, please consider liking, subscribing, and if you want to see more Assassin's Creed Shadows or even a live stream walkthrough, I'd be down to do that. I will see you guys next time.
Let's do it!
Plum.
I found you.
No. No. I kept too much from you. Now, it dies with me.
Stop talking like that.
There is hope. Follow the blade.
Just do it. Just do it.
Remember the song in the music. We are together. Always.
Do it. Do it. You...